Alright guys, welcome to All Things Outdoors, and today we are going to be making pottery. So we got our clay here. I'll have to do a video about how to get good clay, but first we're doing how to make pottery. So first, what you're going to do is you're going to take a ball about this big, and today we're just making a standard pot, like a little dish. So you make a ball about this big, and then you squish it into a round circle patty shape, and you want to make it pretty round because this is going to be the bottom of your pot, and we're actually going to make it a little bit bigger. We're going to add a little bit more clay, so we're going to have to redo the ball part. Make it into a nice ball, smooth and round, and then you squish it down and make it so that it's nice and flat and level. And you don't want it to be too big, or not too big. You don't want it to be too thick, because if it's too thick, then it won't bake very well. You want it to be maybe a 1/4 inch thick is good. Some people might say that that's too thick, but it depends on what you're doing with it. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take our disc to the bottom of the pot, and we're going to roll it on the sides, because this will help make the sides nice and smooth. So you have a nice disc. And we're just going to set it right here on the corner. Make it nice and flat, smooth. And now we're going to make a sheet of clay. So basically we're going to make a roll, a cylinder, about maybe this long. And then we're basically just going to smush it down until it's a good thickness. Once again, about a 1/4 inch thick. And it can be as tall as you want it and as long as you want it. And you can scale this up to make it whatever size pot you want it to be. I'm just doing a small pot because it's a little bit faster and it's easier. And I don't really have a big enough kiln for super large constructions. You can see we actually have the kiln in the background. So, yeah. And make sure this is pretty flat and straight, because this is going to be the walls of your pot. And then you're just going to take it and see if it's long enough. It isn't long enough for this one yet, so we're just going to kind of stretch it out a little bit, and oops, it broke. So you can just fuse it back together. And we're just going to make it a little bit longer. About as long as we can try and make it without making the clay not good. You want to keep the clay a good clay. And that looks starting to look pretty good. Oh yeah, that's definitely starting to look pretty good. Let's see. It's almost thick enough. We're going to make it a little bit narrower because it's a little bit wide. Just going to go like this, crunch it in, and we're just going to go like that. Crunch it down to make it a nice, long, smooth line, and that'll be perfect for our pot. Just peel it up. Definitely have a little bit of a stickier clay, but that's okay. We can fix that once we do the smoothing part. And then we're just gonna wrap it around, stretch it out a little bit if you need to. Make it so that it can combine together on both sides. Now you can also do coil pot, that works just as well, but this is a little bit faster. So I actually am gonna do it in pieces because that might be a little bit easier. We're just gonna go like that. And we're gonna go and do the next piece, next layer. This, and this should make a pretty good pot. So that'll be good.
What's that?
And then you can take another section Perfect. Looks like we got a little bit of a gap left, so we're just gonna make a piece that'll fit. And that is how you make your pot. And then you can smooth it out, touch it up however you want. Make it nice and smooth. And make sure the walls are of an even thickness, or else it won't bake properly. Could crack or break, and we don't want that. And we're gonna make it so that the walls are level. Just gonna add a little bit of clay there. And this is all natural clay, so I found this clay local, and I'm gonna actually do a video about how I found the clay. But I'm not gonna tell people where it is so they don't steal my clay. No one takes my clays. And that is starting to look pretty nice and smooth. Touch up the rim of the pot to make it look nice. And then you can do the inside. And that's about it. Just make it look nice and smooth. Make sure it's all combined on the edges. Looks good. And that's about it for making a clay pot. And there we go. We can zoom in and get a good angle of the pot, and that'll make it look really good. And you can see there are some minor imperfections, but that's okay because it is a handmade pot, so we can always touch it up until we fire it in the kiln. The kiln is right here, so we have a nice kiln here, wood burning kiln. I'll show a video on how to make your own kiln eventually. But that's about it for the kiln. And that's about it for this video on all things outdoors, and we'll see you on the next video.